models. According to Schaefer, Smith-Linder 2005 in The Power of Research Models, a business model is defined as a representation of the basic logic of the company and strategic choices in terms of creating and acquiring value within the framework of its creation network. Another definition, from Business Model Generation Handbook of Visionaries by Osterwalder Pigner 2013, is that a business model is a sketch of the strategy to be implemented within the structures, processes and systems of the organization. Behind the term business model lies a very useful conceptual tool for any organization, no matter whether it is a business enterprise, a social company or a non-profit organization. If an organization has a way to create, deliver and capture value, it has a business model. The most important characteristic of a successful business model is that it is viable and sustainable. Business strategy helps in achieving more or less ambitious goals, which are above average profits or at least survival. The importance of strategy increases in a complex and dynamic environment where conditions are not clearly defined. The relationship between business strategy and business model is studied in a sample of service companies, as per Journal of Competitiveness. These differences are: 1. Business model often goes beyond the boundaries of the enterprise by capturing relationships with customers and business partners, while business strategy remains within the organization. 2. Business model is not formalized, while business strategy often takes the form of an official document. 3. Business model is an excellent tool for planning a venture, and business strategy is created at the later stages of the company's development. And 4. Business model focuses on creating value, including the way it is created and delivering it to the customer, whilst business strategy focuses on maintaining a competitive advantage. A company is revenue and profit, and the startup is a temporary organization designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model. So are startups a smaller version of a large company? Think. Next, we have the Business Model Canvas. It is a simple-to-use visual strategic management and entrepreneurial tool. It allows you to describe, design, challenge, invent, and pivot a business model. A successful business model aims to answer each question. Value proposition. It's not about your idea or a product, it's about solving a need or a problem. What products or services are you building, for who, and what does it solve? Next are customer segments. Who are they? Why would they buy? Channels. How does the product get from our company to the customer? And next, customer relations. How do you get, keep and grow your customer base? Is it physical or digital? Another point. Revenue. How does the company make money from each customer segment? Key resources. What are the most important assets? Also key partnerships. Who are they? Who are the suppliers needed to make the business model work? Next, key activities. What are the most important activities the company must do to make the business model work? And lastly, cost structure. What are the costs to operate the business model? Now, let's define the values. The value proposition defines the company to the customer. They may be quantitative. For example, price, speed of service, or qualitative. For example, design, customer experience. In business, there are 5 values offered to a customer. 1. Product. 2. Price. 3. Access. 4. Service. And 5. Experience. The unique selling proposition is a statement of the key customer benefit of a product that differentiates it from its competition. The competitive advantage of a firm is its distinctive factors that give it a superior or favorable position in relation to its competitors. A sustainable competitive advantage is a competitive advantage that can be maintained over a period of time, hopefully measured in years. A big number of the organizations are non-profit, but non-profit doesn't necessarily mean for loss. While non-profits are obliged to reinvest their profits in the mission and activities of the organization, for-profits are expected to share profits among owners and shareholders, although this is not always the case. For example, organizations can decide to reinvest its profits in product research and organizational development. The biggest difference between a non-profit and a for-profit organization is that the former has prioritized a mission, which is assumed to be of general public interest, over profit maximization. The business model canvas doesn't perfectly fit the requirements of non-profit organizations or public institutions, as these don't understand value in the same way as commercial organizations. Non-profits and public institutions often provide services that don't fit into the market dynamics, also because, among other reasons, beneficiaries and customers don't correspond. Take a look again and copy the business model canvas. To understand better, here is the Magic Triangle by Gassman, Frankenberger Ciesick. Our next topic is Lean Startup. What do you know about startups? A lean startup is a method for developing businesses and products. Startups can shorten their product development cycles by adopting a combination of business hypothesis-driven experimentation, iterative product releases, and validating learning. The overall claim is that if startups invest their time into iteratively building products or services to meet the needs of early customers, they can reduce the market risks and sidestep the need for large amounts of initial project funding and expensive product launches and failures. It was first proposed in 2011 by Eric Ries, entrepreneur, blogger, born in 1979 in his book. He identified 7 lean experiment techniques. Concierge MVP. Manually perform tasks related to delivering the value of your product or service. Eventually you will automate and optimize the process you perform manually, but it's likely you will move faster by simply performing tasks manually. If similar ideas to yours already exist in market, you can use these as a quick and simple way to gather feedback. You might ask customers to sign up and give you feedback on a competitor's website or repackage an existing product. This is especially effective when selling physical products or showing early static mock-ups. This is called the imposter judo. FACO backend is for offerings where a complex backend is required, such as databases, algorithms, or complex engineering. Consider faking this backend with real people or existing apps. It's likely you can mimic the engine behind the scenes. Analog physical technique. Sell a physical version of the product, even if your final product will be digital. This is especially effective for information or data-based products such as customer lists or how-to guides. Dry wallet. In order to test whether your customers will actually purchase your products and for how much, you can deploy a fake purchase now experience. High hurdle. Refers to any experiment where you actually make your experience more difficult to use in an effort to gauge real interest. The higher the hurdle, the more validity you can attribute to your results. Video trailer. Record a real-life scenario using your product, where you edit the video to create the illusion your product is real. A lean startup canvas is made of 9 points to be completed in the following order. 1. Identify your target customers. 2. Call out the user problems your product will address. 3. Hone in on your product's unique value proposition. 4. Illustrate how your product's features will solve user problems from step 2. 5. Highlight the marketing channels you'll use to promote your product. 6. Establish your product's potential revenue streams. 7. Develop your product's suggested cost structure. 8. Select the key metrics you'll use to measure success. 9. Identify the unfair advantage your product has against the competition. Chapter 2. Sustainable business models. Is there a place for sustainability in the business model? How can enterprises incorporate sustainability into their business model and strategy? Or maybe companies should not take into account sustainability in the business model and business strategy. What do you think? Nowadays, innovation is often associated with sustainable development and the challenges of progressive climate change. The interest of leading corporations has expanded to include social problems in the process of creating business model innovation. This is called a Sustainable Business Model Innovation, SBMI. A sustainable business model is about changing the way you do business by incorporating social and environmental considerations into your business practice. Environmental value forms are renewable resources, low emissions, low waste, biodiversity, pollution prevention. Air, water, land. Social value forms are comprised of equality and diversity, well-being, community development, secure livelihood, labor standards, health and safety. Economic value forms focus on profit, return on investments, financial resilience, long-term viability, business stability. All of them together form a sustainable value. This diagram was taken from Evans S., Vladimirowa D., Holgado M., Van Fossen K., Yang M. Silva E.A., Barlow C.Y. 2017, Business Model Innovation for Sustainability Toward a Unified Perspective for Creation of Sustainable Business Models. Business Strategy and the Environment Journal. Why are business models important for sustainability? Eco-design and eco-efficiency improvements help reduce energy consumption, resource consumption and waste production. A sustainable business model brings together the interests of all stakeholder groups and puts the environment and society at the center. So, why should companies implement a sustainable business model? Because the regulations in the field of environmental protection are being tightened, because there is an increasing social pressure on sustainable production, and because the effects of climate change are becoming increasingly visible. Based on Bocan et al., a literature and practice review to develop sustainable business model archetypes. Journal of Cleaner Production, Volume 65, pages 42 to 56. We will explore how to build a sustainable business model. Archetypes of sustainable business models aim to describe groups of mechanisms and solutions that can contribute to building a business model for sustainable development. These archetypes are: maximize materials and energy efficiency, create value from waste, substitute with renewables and natural processes, deliver functionality rather than ownership, adopt a stewardship role, encourage sufficiency, repurpose for society environment, and develop scale-up solutions. Here are the examples of maximizing materials and energy efficiency: low-carbon manufacturing solutions, lean manufacturing, additive manufacturing, dematerialization of products packaging, increased functionality to reduce total number of products required. Next are the examples of how to create value from waste: circular economy, closed loop, cradle to cradle, industrial symbiosis, reuse cycle, remanufacture, take-back management, use excess capacity, sharing assets, shared ownership and collaborative consumption, and extended producer responsibility. To substitute with renewables and natural processes, use these methods. Move from non-renewable to renewable energy sources, solar and wind power-based energy innovations. Zero emissions initiative, blue economy, biomimicry. The natural step, slow manufacturing, and green chemistry. Delivering functionality rather than ownership examples: product-oriented PSS, product service systems, maintenance, extended warranty, use-oriented PSS, rental, lease, shared, result-oriented PSS, pay-per-use, private finance initiative, FI, design, build, finance, operate, DBFO, and chemical management services, CMS. Examples about adopting a stewardship role: biodiversity protection, consumer care, promote consumer health and well-being, ethical trade or fair trade, choice editing by retailers, radical transparency about environmental and societal impacts, resource stewardship. Examples of encouraging sufficiency: consumer education models, communication and awareness, demand management including cap trade, slow fashion, product longevity, premium branding meaning limited availability, frugal business, responsible product distribution or promotion, a purpose for society and environment. Examples: not-for-profit, hybrid business, social enterprise for profit, alternative ownership cooperative, mutual farmers collectives, social and biodiversity regeneration initiatives, net positive. Base of pyramid solutions. Localization. Home-based flexible working. Examples of developing scale-up solutions: collaborative approaches, sourcing, production, lobbying, incubators and entrepreneur support models, licensing, franchising, open innovation, platforms, crowdsourcing or funding, patient slow capital collaborations, eco-friendly digital business models. What is eco-friendly? An eco-friendly business, or green business, is one that demonstrates a commitment to an environmentally sustainable future. Commitment can range from not doing bad, example, using preventive or pollution control technologies in order to not contaminate, to a doing good perspective, aiming at improving different aspects related to sustainability. What is digital? We will refer to digital as the degree of use of information-related technologies. All business nowadays have some extent of digitalization. However, the degree of use can range from a tangential and instrumental use of common technologies, email, website and social media, e-commerce platforms, etc., to the incorporation of these technologies at the core of the firm's strategy. Example: developing digital products for other companies or providing digital services. Digital services and products is a wide definition and might incorporate fields as cybersecurity, big data and their uses, or decision-making tools, for example. How can we incorporate these elements into the business model? We will use the Lean Canvas as a tool for explaining: define user and problem, create solutions, define unique value proposition, channels, pricing, key metrics, costs, and unfair advantage. Before you get started, the main question is, do you have a problem worth solving? If so, the first step is to brainstorm who could be your customer or user. Define 2 to 3 specific and small customer groups. Customers are those who pay for your products. In comparison to the business model canvas, the Lean Canvas is designed to focus on one customer group. Therefore, create a separate Lean Canvas for every customer group. Who is affected by the problem you aim to solve? Who manages the issues related to the project? Do we have other stakeholders related? Who is the user of your digital services? Do they have the skills to make the most of your proposal? Create solutions. Based on the identified problems, ideate and define a solution to every problem. List the 3 most important features for a solution. Is your solution addressing or mitigating some problems caused by your activity? Is your solution proactively preventing future problems or improving future situations? How does your solution interact with technology? How innovative is it? Define your unique value proposition. The unique value proposition is a clear message that describes the advantages of your offer, what makes you different and distinguishes you from the competition. Who creates value with your solution? Who benefits from this value? Is it sustainable? How does your solution deliver value? How can you protect it from competitors? Think about the channels. What are the channels you want to use to reach your customer? Define inbound channels that lead customers to your offer, like CO, white papers, blogs, social media, and outbound channels like ads, calls, fairs and conventions. Be creative. What is the environmental impact of your operations and distribution channels? Who are the main stakeholders related? Who are the key players and technologies to reach your customers? How do you engage with them? Pricing. Define the revenue streams and the prices for your offer. The pricing is part of your offer and needs to be designed and tested. Use different business model patterns as a source for inspiration. Not only how much, but how often. What for or who to, for example. Who will pay for the solution you offer and how? How is price connected with the global strategy? Think about the monetization of your digital service. What is the time frame, frequencies of purchase and engagement model your price strategy defines? Key metrics to understand if your idea and your business work well. Define key metrics as indicators to measure your success. For the beginning, key metrics are the activities of a user that help the business grow. For example, number of registrations, number of prospects, and so on. Do you incorporate eco-social indicators for measuring success? How to gather data regarding these indicators? Does your technology facilitate the gathering of feedback information? How would you measure success? Costs. List the most important costs for your offer. This might influence the pricing. How are costs defined in your solution? Do you also incorporate social and environmental costs? How do they interact with economic costs? How scalable is your solution in terms of costs? Is the investment required too specific? How are your costs related to the expected obsolescence of the technology employed? Unfair advantage. As a last step, define your unfair advantage. What makes you unique that is not easily copied? For example, reputation, unique brand experience, unique partnerships that lead to an offer that cannot be copied. How reliant in social intangible aspects is your solution? How would you navigate the paradox of opening to society or stakeholders versus keeping competitive advantage? Can you technologically and legally protect your solution? Do you need to show or share your technology with every interaction with customers? Is your technology easy to reproduce? 3 nice digital and green examples. 1. Everlane. Everlane is a champion of transparency. The company publicly explains production costs so that consumers know how much it costs Everlane to make its clothing. Labor, materials, transporting the apparel, and duties. It compares its prices with those of traditional retailers. One dress, for instance, is $98 at Everlane, while traditional retailers would sell it for $190. In December 2015, the company had a Pay What You Want sale, giving consumers 3 options to choose from 3 different prices. Everlane sells basic items that are marketed as better quality than fast fashion. Everlane's e-commerce mission. Radical transparency. Everlane's mission is short and understandable. They packaged it up for their customers to hear, easily remember and share. In fact, the idea was disruptive enough that they were able to raise some venture backing. Without this mission, they were an undifferentiated apparel company. Everlane wrapped its value proposition in a bow and supports it with a telling infographic on every page. There are 110,000 e-commerce websites in the world. Everlane's was different enough to get noticed. The importance of focus. Startups, particularly venture-backed ones, are often forced to grow unnaturally fast because investors want to see returns. The normal venture capital fund requires startups to reach liquidity within about 12 years. These expectations, while motivating sometimes, can result in lack of clear focus. Chasing revenue can make founders do silly things. Plenty of companies have stumbled by focusing too broadly. It's one of the largest killers of startups. Website On Startups has a nice article that details the focus phenomenon for software startups. The harsh truth is that broad, flexible products that can address the needs of many types of users are almost always more expensive to build and maintain than products that only address the needs of a small group of people. Everlane has been able to focus on its key differentiator, radically transparent apparel, by ignoring distraction. Everlane's focus on brand. Brand is important in e-commerce, particularly in clothing, because your competition is just one button click away. No longer does owning a fleet of thousands of stores in malls across the US matter. The internet has completely leveled the playing field. Be memorable and impactful. While they might be better served, from a customer acquisition perspective, to use this real estate to advertise their referral program, Instagram feed, bulk ordering or affiliate program, they choose to instead focus on brand where reasonable. Pre-launch strategy. Everlane launched to an already captive audience because of an email collection pre-launch strategy. They gave out tiered rewards to users for referring friends to the pre-launch, which dragged on for 6 months. They created a little extra allure by creating 6 months of mystery. Referral program. Referral programs end up being 15% of revenue for many e-commerce companies. Today, referral programs are fairly common, but Everlane was a little ahead of its time for building a robust, account-based referral program. Even today, their referral program sits at the bottom of every page of the logged-in website. Affiliate marketing. Everlane has appeared on countless fashion blogs. Not all of those mentions are organic. Browse to the affiliates section of their website and voila, a robust affiliate program. Affiliate marketing is an incredible way to reach more users. In exchange for a % of sales, bloggers will review Everlane's products and post their reviews. In this way, Everlane reaches a very wide audience across the internet. Guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is doing anything that is disruptive, cheap and creative to acquire customers. Everlane partnered with on-demand food delivery company Postmates to deliver its clothing basics in under an hour in major cities across the US. Not only was that an appealing proposition to its existing customers, who are mostly city-dwelling 20 to 40-somethings, the press liked the activation. Search for Everlane and Postmates on Google and you'll get 4,520 results. Everlane took the opportunity to tell reporters in every city that Postmates delivers to. They keep pace with their audience. Everlane tends to stay on top of the latest digital marketing strategies and trends. They stay current. Everlane's Snapchat story is peppered with how-tos, behind-the-scenes looks and a bit of personality. I wake up with a full inbox of messages and questions. Red Gaskell, Everlane's social media manager, says about Everlane's Snapchat account. Everlane hangs with its 20 and 30-something audience by staying current. It's no surprise, as Everlane's office is full of 20 and 30-somethings. More recently, Everlane began using Facebook Messenger for a short time to augment its existing customer service efforts. Even more than keeping up with their demographic, brands that stay current often benefit from first-mover advantage in certain paid marketing channels. Everlane was a fairly early user of Facebook advertising and benefited from lower-cost inventory in the beta days of Facebook ads. 2. Apple. I know what you're thinking. When you hear the words eco-friendly, the first thing that comes to mind isn't the largest technology company in the world. But just because they're not an outspoken company that champions environmental causes doesn't mean they're not doing their part. Apple may not say, "Hey, look at me, I'm green," but they've made some serious contributions to environmental change. In 2015, they signed a nearly $1 billion deal with First Solar, the largest developer of solar farms in the US. Using their technology, Apple powers all of its California stores, offices, data centers and headquarters with solar energy, making it the largest solar procurement deal for a non-utility company in history. 3. IKEA. Furniture and home goods giant IKEA utilizes a variety of renewable energy sources and waste management tactics to give back to our planet. They believe that consumers shouldn't have to choose between design, functionality, price, or sustainability when purchasing a product. Their product lines are not only manufactured through eco-friendly practices, but they encourage customers to live a more environmentally conscious lifestyle. IKEA was the first major retailer to sell exclusively LED bulbs and lighting fixtures in their stores, and they utilize only these types of bulbs in their facilities. 90% of their buildings in the US have solar panels installed, and they also own 2 wind farms in Texas and Illinois that generate 3 to 4 times the renewable energy needed to power these locations. To further offset CO2 emissions, they have planted 2.4 million trees in American forests and only send about 15% of waste to landfills. But their efforts are truly just beginning. IKEA is working towards 100% renewable energy through their wind farms and solar panels, as well as sourcing wood from more sustainable locations, and have spent over $1 billion on these initiatives. In 2018, IKEA received Circular Economy Award from the World Economic Forum. Thank you for listening to the Digital and Sustainable Enterprising webinar organized by the Consortium of the Entronate Project. Feel free to explore our other webinars in this series about digital and sustainable enterprising skills for NEETs from marginalized communities. See you soon.